All right, it's media day. We're talking 3 6A. We finally got up into the 6A districts, and we're talking with North Crowley head coach Ray Gates. Coach, man, what a season last year, huh? I mean, you step in there, and all of a sudden, nobody can touch you, at least until the rain came flying down there against Prosper. But other than that, a 12-0 season ended up being 12-1 after that loss. But talk about how that momentum kept rolling and rolling, and the kids really started believing that this was a special team.
Well, first of all, it always starts with, great kids. We have unbelievable kids here at North Crowley. I was fortunate and blessed to be given the keys to such a great school and also school district. We have an unbelievable administration who really wants, every student in our district to excel. And so in how that translates for us in the football world, they gave us everything that we needed to be successful, behind the scenes. And a lot of times people don't understand how important that piece is with your administration. So definitely kids in administration. But when we got here, we just kind of hit the ground, just running and just trying to establish our culture and, our beliefs and our identity. And as we began to put together our schemes philosophically, looking at the talent and the pieces that we had, we knew that we had an opportunity to be special, and so that was just our approach every day, was to be 1% better. And I felt like our kids began to do that. And as a result, they began to put win on top of win on top of win. And I think the catalyst for us was that week three win when we played Lucas Lovejoy at our brand new stadium, unbelievable place. I believe they were ranked number 3 in the state. We had an opportunity to beat those guys, and I think that set us up for the run that we had last year.
And that was a game I was actually at shooting. First of all, tremendous stadium. I love that stadium. We'll be back for sure. I know I had a couple other guys get a tryout. I don't want to be selfish and take all them games myself, so I let a couple other guys get out there. But that game, you guys defensively shut them down because that was a team. You had 4 D1 wide receivers and the quarterback couldn't get the ball out. I mean, Samaji had a really good game, and you guys put up some points, and that put you on the map. And then when you get into the district play, Grand and Trinity had a downish year for them. But still, when people look at this district, they see Trinity and they see everybody else. Well, you stepped over them early in the season. Those 2 wins alone had to be a catalyst to make these kids believe things.
Absolutely. Anytime you can get marquee wins, that allows you to put another feather in your hat, and that services you well as you head deeper into the season and into the playoffs. You can always draw back on those wins, especially when you're in those moments where games are really close. Listen, guys, we've been here before. We've played competition. We're worthy of this moment, and your kids begin to believe that. And so, with every opportunity that you have each week, there's a lesson to be learned, and we try to make sure that we file and categorize those wins in those situations away. So when the appropriate time comes up, we can pull back and say, hey, like I said, we've been here before, and so we can do this. And so I think our kids understood that. Our kids believed that they were 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, and as our record continued to compile, they believe that they were what their record suggested that they were, and I think that's an important component to have, is that belief. When you have that belief, anything is possible.
Now, when we look ahead to 2023, I know this is going to be a wild generalization, but you look at your roster from last year, in the key positions, you pretty much see senior and then you see sophomore. So we may lose Samaji and Pemberton, but man, the MVP of the district is back. Cornelius Warren's back. Your quarterback is back. You got some linebackers coming back. You got a lot of guys that can build off of what you guys built last year. Talk about having somebody like, let's start with Cornelius Warren. I mean, he's still got 2 more years left, and he was already district MVP. Where does he go from here?
Well, that's a great observation. Cornelius is a special type of talent. You don't get an opportunity to coach those type of kids every single year. So when you have them as a coach, you're definitely fortunate. He's a guy that's a big play guy. Just get him the ball and get out of his way. Don't make things overly complicated. What God has blessed him with, definitely shows up from week to week. And we want to make sure that we maximize his ability to do the things that he does. So that's why we move him all over the field and we play him in a lot of different positions. It's because he has that type of capability. He's a big play threat, in the passing game and the run game. And then, of course, special teams, we can put him back there and allow him to be him as well. So, he's a guy that we're definitely excited about. Our quarterback, Chris Jimerson is back. He'll be a 4-year starter in 6A football, and you don't find that very often at this level. So he has seen a lot of football already as a being a junior next year. I think he'll be starting. The game 1 will be game number 17 for him, and so he's a guy that has 2 more years as well. We have 3 Division I receivers that we're really excited about this year. I think that group as a whole will be special. On the defensive side of the ball, the defensive line is back. We lost, I think, 2 guys up front, but for the most part, most of that production is back. 4 linebackers that have played a lot of ball last year, they're back. Really excited about that group. And then our secondary is going to be really, really good. So our team on paper is going to be, as we perceive it, another one of those teams that I think will have an opportunity to be right where we were last year.
I guess lastly, let's talk a little bit about the district. You guys obviously are up, got your comeuppance, and Boswell did as well. Talk about some of the other teams in this district and how they may present a problem, because Trinity's not going to stay down forever, and you got Boswell. Like I said, they gave you probably your toughest game, or at least one of your toughest games that you ended up winning. And that was a home game for you. So talk to us about that.
The game came down to essentially the final play, and we were able to come up. Hanif Bilal was the one who batted down that ball to give us the win ultimately to clinch that game, which set us up, moving forward. So, Boswell, of course, worthy opponent. Great job. They do a great job coaching their kids, getting their kids ready. Trinity, a lot of turnover last year with their staff, and losing, Coach Limeweaver, of course, was huge for them, and so they had to overcome a lot early. But when it came around district play, they found their niche, and they were able to win the ball games that they were supposed to get into the playoffs and keep the streak alive. So there's a lot of tradition, a lot of pride there. They do an excellent job of getting their kids ready to play. Big kids, strong, physical in the trenches. They play an old style of football. You don't get a chance to see that every, single week. So for them, their advantage offensively is they're kind of the anomaly of offenses that you'll see. So your preparation for most teams that you play often, is pretty close to being the same. The approach maybe be the same, but when you play them, you have to change up some things based on what they do and the problems that they pose for you as an opponent. So definitely going to be 2 teams that will be right back in the thick of things. I think the team that will be really good this year in our district is Weatherford. They were really good on their sub-varsities. Varsity was really good last year. I think with what they have coming up, I think they're going to shock a lot of people this year and be right there, at the top, fighting for a position to win our district championship. So much respect to Coach Sims and what he's doing out there, at Weatherford. So, I think they'll be right there when it's all said and done.
Well, it looks like it's going to be another great district play here in 3-6A, and I appreciate you joining us. I mean, you've already made your mark, so now we're going to build on it and see what you got in the future. So thank you very much for joining us, Coach Gates, and we will talk to you soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.